This lesson, you are going to learn how to run like a pirate. I'm just kidding. Because cumulative frequency is also known as the running total. We're going to learn how to draw CF graphs from grouped frequency tables. We're going to learn how to interpret CF graphs and calculate the median and the IQR, means interquartile range, from cumulative frequency graphs. Now notes, cumulative frequency graph is a way to present data. It involves adding up the frequencies, hence it's called running total. In order to draw a cumulative graph, you need to make a CF column in the frequency table first. So that's the first step. And then the median is the middle value, we know that. And say, for example, 200 terms, the median will be the 100th term. You don't have to add 1 and divide by 2. You only have to add 1 if the data is discrete and give up 1 by 1. For example, the first data is 5, second data is 10, third data is 12, 14. Then you'll have to add 1 and divide by 2. But for a table form and group tables, you don't have to. For IQR, you first of all have to work out the upper quartile, which is the 3/4 of the term. So 200 times 3/4 is 150. If my mental maths quickly is correct, yes. And minus the lower quartile, which is the 50th term, a quarter times 200. Okay. Now, key points to draw a CF graph. You always start from 0, cumulative frequency. You always start from 0. You take the endpoint of each class interval, the endpoint, so the right side of the interval, and then it should be a smooth curve. When I say should be, because we're just humans, we're not machine. Sometimes it's really hard to draw a straight smooth graph. Straight smooth graph, is that a word? Anyway, a smooth graph. Yeah, smooth graph. The first thing we'll do is to read to interpret the graph. So here's a cumulative frequency graph. You can see it's a curve, okay, that go through all the points. So estimate the median height. Now, from a cumulative frequency, we can tell from 0 to 100. It means altogether there are 100 data points, or 100 people, population, and sample size. So median is a middle value, so half of 100 is the 50th. So question A, you need to work out the 50th value. So from there, use a ruler and a pencil. So start from 50 on the cumulative frequency. Draw a line across until it hits your graph, and then you're going to read off the other side. So 15, 16, 17, 18. So therefore, the median is 18. Okay, so 18, the unit is meters. Right? Question B. To avoid the confusion, I'm going to use a different color for question B. For question B, I'm going to use green. Estimate the interquartile range. So interquartile range is the upper quartile, take away the lower quartile. The upper quartile is the 3/4 term, so 100 times 3/4, that's 75. So 75th term. And lower quartile is 100 times a quarter, which is 25th term. So essentially, when you draw two lines, one from a 75th and one from a 25th. So 75 on the cumulative frequency is here. Turn around. Oops, what's going on? Right, so that's 21. I would say 21.5 possibly. So that's upper quartile is 21.5. And for lower quartile, the 25th term, so 25 is here. And then go down. Oops. I got 14.5. So low quartile is 14.5. Therefore, the IQR interquartile range is 21.5 minus 14.5, which is 7 meters. Right? Question C. Estimate the number of buildings that are below 40 meters tall. So I'm going to use this different color again. So I'm going to use orange for question C. So 40 meters tall. So 40 meters, if you read off from the cumulative frequency, meters is on the x-axis. That means we have to find 40 on the x-axis here. So this time we draw a line upwards this time to hit the graph. And then let me do it again. and then we go across. So you can see that number here would have been 92, 94, 96. So there are 96. So below 96 meters. So below 96 meters, that means below is 40. So it's going left, going towards the 0. So 96, we're going down as well. That means part C, there are 96 buildings. So 96. Question D, estimate the minimum height of the tallest 10% buildings. So it's different color this time red. Now, the tallest 10%, the tallest 10%, there are 100 buildings in there, right? The tallest 10%, so 100 times 10% is 10. So in other words, the tallest 10% represent the 90th building. Okay, so 90th building. So when you go on 90 here, and then we read off the line and go down. So I've got 30.5 now. So 30.5 meters. So that number is 30.5. The top 10%, the minimum height. So in order for you to get to top 10%, you need to reach at least a 30.5 meters, because the next numbers, the numbers after 90 will be taller and taller than 30.5. So the answer for part D will be 30.5 meters. That's the final answer. Okay. If we say the maximum height for the the shortest 10% will be the number 10. Okay, 10 building. All right. Here's practice question 1. Try to apply what we've just learned and answer the following questions. Pause the video, have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. Here are the answers. A little bit messy on the graph because there are 5 questions on one. So I've tried to color code it for you for each question. Question A, you can see the color code for each color, each question. So question A use blue, median 100th term. Probably say E is probably the C, D, and E probably slightly trickier. For D, to get longer than 8 centimeters, when you do 8 centimeters, you read across is 188. Now be careful with the increments on the y-axis. It's 4 per little square. So that's 188. It has to be longer than 8 centimeters. That means it has to be 188 up. So 200 minus 888, that's a difference of just 12 pencils. Question E, the longest 10% means, so if you rank them from the shortest to the tallest, you're looking at the 90% of the 90% of the pencils. So 90% of 200 is 180. So you're looking for the 180th value, and then read off, that's 7.3 centimeters. The table below shows the different sizes of burgers measured with radius I have devoured. Well, believe it or not. Anyway, so here's a table. Draw a cumulative frequency graph to represent a table. First step, you need to create extra column called CF. So you start from doing 5 and then running a total. So use a calculator. So 5 plus 7 is 12. So plus 7. Every time you add the next number, 12 plus 14, 26. So 5 plus 7, 12 plus 14, 26 plus 19, that's 45. And then add 30, that's 75. Add 14, that's 89. Plus 11, that's 100. Okay, right. To draw a cumulative frequency graph, the first point, always start from 0 cumulative frequency. So we'll do that, always start from 0. So we'll put a point on the 0. Okay. Next, take the endpoint for each class interval. So the n class, the n number for the first interval is 30. So we do 30 and 5. So 30 on the radius, 5 on the cumulative frequency. So that's every small square increment goes up by 2. So 2, 4, that's 5. Next, 40 and 12. 40 and 12. Now usually when students struggle to draw a cumulative frequency graph, is usually the first bit that they struggle with. So you start from 0, 0, and then take the endpoint for each class. Okay, and then once you get this hang of it, you should be okay. So I'll do the rest of them. So once I've plotted all the points, it should look like this. Next, you need to draw a smooth curve. Okay, so use a pencil, 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 please. So Oops.
A few moments later.
Right, I think I've sort of done a decent job, slightly decent. Now, one thing you can't hit, so here's the answer. Okay, here's the graph. One thing you can't do is you can't use a ruler to join up like this. You can't use a ruler and join up like this. So it won't be a, you can't make a graph that is a collection of straight line graphs. You can't have that. So you have to draw it with bare hand, make a smooth curve. Okay, more or less. Right, part B, estimate the median. So there are 100 terms. Median is the 50th term. So it's the 50th term. So we've just done it recently. So 50th term. So use a ruler, pencil, draw across. Use your cumulative frequency graph. So using my cumulative frequency graph, I've got a radius of 62 millimeters. Okay. Question C, to estimate IQR, I'll use different color. So use green. IQR is the upper quartile, take a lower quartile. Upper quartile is a 75th term because 3/4 of 100 is 75, and lower quarter is a quartile, which is 25th term. So upper quartile on 75, that's here. So draw across and then go down 70. So upper quartile equals 70. Take away lower quartile 25, 25th term, so 25th term. Here, go down. I've got close enough to 50, so I'll say 50. So that's 20 millimeters. That's the answer. This time, your chance to have a go to draw your own cumulative frequency graph.
My time has come.
Pause the video, have a go at a question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. Here are my answers. For the median and the IQR, depends on how you draw your cumulative frequency. You might have a slightly different answer to me, but that is fine. I've tried my best to draw a curve on the computer. It's not easy, let me tell you. But here are the answers, okay? The table shows the temperatures of the burgers eaten by someone. Disclaimer.
Not me.
Use the information to draw a cumulative frequency graph, and use your graph to estimate the median IQR. By someone's standard, not me again, if the temperature of the burger is either lower than 20 degrees or higher than 72 degrees, the burger is known as give it to your siblings quality. Use your graph to estimate the number of burgers that are of the give it to your siblings quality. Okay, so pause the video, have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. First of all, check your cumulative frequency column. Make sure you have these numbers correct, because otherwise your cumulative graph will be wrong. The rest of them will be wrong as well. So go from 12, 50, 80, 100, 114, and 120. Okay. Next, you draw a curve on them. Again, as I said, it's not easy to draw on a computer. You start from 0, 0. Then the next one is 25 and 12. So 25 and 12, etc. So draw a curve. To find a median, there are 120 numbers in there. Half of it is 60. So 60 right down is 51 degrees. IQR is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. Upper quartile is the 3/4 of it. 3/4 of 120 is 90. So draw a line across, read down, 62. Lower quartile, a quarter times 120, 30. So 30th, draw a line across, read down, 36. So when you do upper quartile, 62 minus 36, you get 26 degrees. Okay. Question C, interesting one. Well, you have to find out how many burgers are there. There are lower 20, and how many number of burgers are above 72 degrees. So let's go by one by one. 20 degrees, so 20 degrees, I use orange for part C. So go up and then go across. There are increments go up by 2, so there are 8 burgers that are less than 20 degrees. So let me write 8 in there. So you want a less than 20, and upper and higher than 72, so higher is 110. So when you go 72 degrees, there are 110 burgers, roughly, more or less. You want it to be above 72, so you can see as you're stretching further away from the end of the graph, you do the same on the y-axis as well. So between 120 and 110, there are 10 burgers that are higher than 72 degrees. They're boiling hot, really, wow. And then, so in total, there are only 18 burgers that are give it to your siblings quality, okay?